You might believe that the biggest cyber threats come from massive ransomware groups demanding millions of dollars. But what if I tell you that the most dangerous threats today are quiet, fast, and almost invisible? What if the real danger is not loud extortion, but silent data theft happening in minutes? You are living in a time where attackers no longer need to break down your digital door. They simply slip in, collect what they want, and disappear. And that is exactly where OpenClaws comes into the picture. In this session, you are going to understand what OpenClaws malware is, how it works, why it is called a top skill malware, how it spreads, and most importantly, what you must do to defend against it. You will not just hear a story. You will learn lessons that apply directly to your organization, your architecture, and your leadership decisions. What is OpenClaws malware? OpenClaws is a modern information stealing malware designed to extract sensitive data from infected systems. It focuses on harvesting credentials, browser data, authentication tokens, and system information. Instead of encrypting your files like ransomware, it silently collects your secrets. When you think about data theft today, you must think beyond passwords. OpenClaws targets said browser credentials, cryptocurrency wallets, session tokens, remote access credentials, and even system configuration details. That means, if a machine is compromised, attackers can potentially move deeper into your network without triggering alarms. This is what makes it powerful. It is not about noise. It is about precision. Why it is called a top skill malware? You might wonder why it is labeled as a top skill malware. The reason lies in its design and deployment approach. It is built to be flexible, modular, and capable of evading many traditional detection systems. Attackers behind OpenClaws are not amateurs. They understand how security teams monitor networks. They use obfuscation techniques to hide code, encrypted communication channels to avoid inspection, and command and control servers that rotate frequently. You are not facing a simple script downloaded from a forum. You are facing a tool engineered to bypass weak controls. This is the new era of cybercrime. It is professionalized, it is automated, and it is scalable. How OpenClaws infects you? You do not get infected because you are careless. You get infected because attackers understand human behavior. Most OpenClaws infections begin with phishing emails. You receive a message that looks legitimate. It could be a job offer, an invoice, a delivery notice, or a software update alert. You click, you download, you execute. In other cases, it may spread through malicious advertisements or compromised websites. You visit a trusted site that unknowingly hosts injected scripts. The malware downloads silently in the background. Sometimes, attackers bundle it with cracked software. You think you are installing a free tool. Instead, you install a data harvesting engine. This is not just a technical issue. It is a behavioral attack surface. What happens after infection? Once OpenClaws is installed, it begins reconnaissance immediately. It scans your system for valuable data. It checks browser directories. It extracts stored passwords. It looks for cryptocurrency wallet files. It inspects system registry keys. It collects system information such as operating system version and installed applications. Then it packages this data and sends it to a remote command server controlled by the attacker. Imagine this scenario. An employee in your organization clicks on a malicious file. Within minutes, their browser credentials are exfiltrated. Those credentials include access to cloud portals. The attacker logs into your cloud environment using legitimate authentication. There is no brute force attack, no alert, just a normal login. Now the attacker is inside your environment using valid credentials. That is the real danger. You are running a hybrid cloud environment. Your team uses a web browser to access administrative portals. An administrator stores credentials in the browser for convenience. OpenClaws infects that administrator's laptop. The malware extracts stored credentials and session tokens. The attacker replaces those tokens to access the cloud dashboard. From there, they create new accounts, deploy backdoors, or extract sensitive business data. You might not notice for days. This is not science fiction. This is how modern breaches happen. How it evades detection. Traditional antivirus solutions rely heavily on known signatures. If malware matches a known pattern, it is blocked. But OpenClaws often changes its code structure slightly to avoid signature detection. It may use encryption to hide strings and commands. It may disable certain security services. It may check whether it is running inside a virtual environment to avoid being analyzed by security researchers. You must understand that attackers evolve constantly. If your defenses are static, you lose. OpenClaws is part of a larger category known as information stealers. Similar families have caused significant breaches globally. Think about high-profile incidents where credentials were leaked and later used for ransomware deployment. In many cases, the first step was credential harvesting malware. You must start thinking in chains. One small infection today can become a major incident tomorrow. Why leaders must pay attention? As a leader, you might think this is an operational security problem. It is not. It is a strategic risk issue. When credentials are stolen, it can impact intellectual property, customer data, financial records, and regulatory compliance. In regulated industries such as energy, finance, or government, a credential theft incident can escalate into a national security concern. You cannot treat information stealing malware as a low priority threat. Your strongest defense is identity protection. You must enforce multi-factor authentication everywhere. Even if credentials are stolen, additional authentication factors reduce attacker success. You must minimize credential storage in browsers. Encourage password managers with stronger protection. Educate your teams about not saving administrative credentials in plain browser storage. You must implement conditional access policies. If a login occurs from an unusual location or device, block it automatically. Identity is the new perimeter. You must assume endpoints will be targeted. Deploy advanced endpoint detection and response solutions that focus on behavior rather than signatures. Monitor for unusual file access patterns. Monitor for suspicious network connections to unknown servers. Ensure operating systems and applications are updated regularly. Many infections exploit unpatched vulnerabilities. Disable unnecessary administrative privileges. If a user does not need administrative rights, do not grant them. Least privilege is not optional anymore. OpenClaws communicates with command servers to exfiltrate data. That means network visibility is critical. You must inspect outbound traffic. Many organizations focus only on inbound attacks, but data theft often leaves through outbound channels. Implement domain filtering and block known malicious domains. Use threat intelligence feeds to stay updated. You cannot protect what you cannot see. Technology alone will not save you. You must continuously train your people to identify suspicious emails, unexpected downloads, and fake software updates. Run phishing simulations. Provide feedback. Make security awareness part of your culture. Remember, attackers exploit curiosity and urgency. Teach your teams to slow down and verify. If you suspect infection, isolate the device immediately. Do not wait. Revoke compromised credentials. Force password resets. Invalidate session tokens. Investigate logs for unusual activity. Check whether the stolen credentials were used elsewhere. Transparency and speed are critical. Delayed response increases damage. OpenClaws teaches you a powerful lesson. Security is not about preventing one type of attack. It is about adapting continuously. Today, it is OpenClaws. Tomorrow, it will be another name. The core tactics remain the same. Exploit human behavior, steal credentials, move silently. If your architecture relies solely on perimeter defenses, you are exposed. If your identity systems are weak, you are exposed. If your monitoring lacks depth, you are exposed. Ask yourself this question. If one endpoint in your organization is compromised right now, how far could an attacker go within 1 hour? Could they access cloud resources? Could they download customer data? Could they create new privileged accounts? Your answer to these questions defines your security maturity. Resilience means you detect quickly, you respond effectively, you recover confidently. Invest in layered defense. Combine identity controls, endpoint protection, network monitoring, and awareness training. Conduct tabletop exercises, simulate credential theft scenarios, test your response plans. Security is not a project, it is a capability. You must understand that modern malware is not just about disruption. It is about silent exploitation. OpenClaws represents a broader shift in cybercrime. Attackers want your credentials more than your files. They want access more than attention. If you strengthen identity, monitor endpoints intelligently, and train your people consistently, you significantly reduce your risk. Cybersecurity is not fear, it is preparation. If you found this session valuable, you now have a responsibility. Strengthen your organization, review your identity controls, audit your endpoint protections, challenge your assumptions. Subscribe to this channel to stay ahead of emerging threats. Like this video so it reaches more leaders and architects who need to hear this message. Share it with your security teams and decision makers. And comment below with your thoughts on how you are defending against credential-stealing malware. Your engagement helps build a stronger cybersecurity community. Stay alert, stay prepared, and I will see you in the next session.